The following stream contains mature content and subject matter. Viewer discretion is advised. Why am I even here? Most people probably thought Eminem would come up with this. Actually, maybe I am made of chocolate. This is Max Shankroom. The trailer you're about to witness will take you back to a time when I was on TV, which means buckle up, people. Where we're going, there are no breaks.
Good evening, everyone, and welcome back to episode 2 of the final season of Mage. I am the Ravenous Archon. My name is Will. I will be a storyteller this evening. And before we jump into it, I would like to let my players introduce themselves and the characters they'll be playing this season.
Hi, everyone. I am Mama McStabber in Twitch chat, and I can be found on socials at Relindare. And I'll be playing Lydia Thompson, the Mage of the Cult of Ecstasy tradition.
Hello, I'm Maddox, and I will be playing Arthur Light, the apprentice Euthanatos, who's totally not in over his head.
Hello, I'm Ivy Raven, and I play Anita Maple of the Verbena tradition.
Okay, and we left off with the group kind of separating, trying to divide and conquer. We left off with Lydia heading down to Coconut Grove at the Mutiny Bar, where she's going to meet with the Cardinal twins. We left off with Anita heading up to Charles Hadley Park to meet with Bashir Toussaint. Alistair, unfortunately, will not be with us tonight, but luckily he left himself off in a position where we can ignore him for one night. Arthur, upon going back to work, his beat has taken the initiative to go and see the matron at the Iglesia of the Familia Sagrada or the Sacred Family Church. And before anything, I think we're going to open up with Anita at Charles Hadley Park, getting to meet a younger Bashir Toussaint before he was influenced by Daniel Thatcher. And how is the ride up for you? What motorcycle would you have had in 1982, 81?
It would have been the same one she had in season 2, which I'm trying to remember what that was. I don't remember. It was an oldie. That's all I know. Can't remember
Okay.
exactly. Sorry.
That's fine. That's fine.
But now she's got all those matter spheres, so she's made the ride a little bit smoother for herself. Some minor tweaks to the, yeah.
Oh yeah, it is definitely one of the bikes that runs a little better than it should, and almost, I think, given that we left off with you coming back in time from a moment where crotch rockets were making a start, is there anything that you've done to make it faster, or are you more of a cruiser?
It is a cruiser. If I need to make it faster, I make it faster when there's no one else around.
Okay. You pull up to Charles Hadley Park. It is one of the larger parks in Overtown. Given the history of Miami, Overtown is the kind of untalked about segregated part of Miami where all of the Black folk have been pushed into. So it is rare, but not uncommon to see lighter skinned folks that are Latino, Cuban mostly, but there are other South American, Middle American kids running around, people of mixed heritage. But you notice a younger version of the Bashir that you saw. He's a few years younger. He's got a little pep in his step. He's walking around. You see him kind of coaching a couple of kids who look to be about 8 or 9 in basketball. As you park, how do you approach the situation?
I was just gonna say Anita would park, but she would go and she's not gonna just walk out and be like, hey, she's gonna wait if there's like park benches or something, or like if it's got like a riser seating kind of thing, she'll sit where she can watch. But yeah.
Okay. You hear him just yelling at the kids, kind of getting to play with each other, forcing them to not ignore kids. And after a moment, he looks in your direction. There's a moment where your prime kind of ripples through your body, and you can sense that he's reaching out to see if you're like him. He nods, and then he yells at one of the kids, Shion, let them play together. Keep an eye on them, and don't bully Maxine. And you see him start walking in your direction.
Anita will just stay there, just wait for him to come to her. So
He stops at the lowest of the bleachers, the risers, and kind of puts his foot up, almost like a little Captain Morgan action going on. And he looks up at you. He's like, can I help you? You are not the kind of mage I would see in this part of town.
well, apologies,
No,
Mr.
please.
Toussaint. I didn't want to interrupt your game or your teaching, both maybe. But
Volunteer work.
It's always good to help your community. Anita will actually get up. She'll kind of come back. She'll come down to him now that he's come to her, as it were. She'll extend her hand towards him. Anita Maple.
He shakes it. He's like, Bashir Toussaint, but it seems like you know who I am already.
Oh, apologies. I'm not. When I came to town, somebody told me about you, and they said I should come and say hey. So I thought I would come and say hey.
No. Do you need any help with anything? How long have you been in town?
Oh, not very long. I think it's only been a week or two. Right now, sometimes I get lost in the time of it all, as it were. So
I understand.
No, uh, do you have a minute to sit and talk?
Yeah, please. And he motions to the bleachers,
Awesome. Anita will sit back down.
and he sits down a couple seats below you.
Look, it'll sound okay. In our line of living, weird is not uncommon.
I'm starting to see that. Yes.
I've traveled far and wide and seen and heard all sorts of various things, and I was granted a vision of sorts, if you will, and you're important to that, which is also why I sought you out. So I don't want you to feel like I'm holding anything, from you. But the city is in danger. Very soon, something is going to happen, and it's possible for you and others that have been here a while, more established, to help some friends and I to prevent that from happening, or not prevent it, but the best possible outcome is what I'm trying to say.
And you see him laugh, and he goes, I'm okay. So there is trouble, yes, from what I'm
Yes.
understanding. Okay. And it's the
Yes.
whole city, or just?
I'm not 100% clear on that. The information was coming through a third party, so I was only given bits and pieces of it. So it's kind of like a big puzzle. We all have our own bits and pieces. I will say it seemed to involve the she kind of like whispers the word vampire contingent.
I have heard that they are present here. I have not seen any, and I have not dealt with any of them. From what I have seen, they don't like, and you see him kind of gesture to the park, and then he rubs his skin very much in a racist way that he has seen so many times from the Hispanic culture around him. They don't like my people, and it's not us, it's my people.
I mean, that's a odd positive, but unfortunately it seems that they're going to do something. It's going to spill over into the streets. It's going to hurt a lot of people potentially. So I don't know. I think we have a plan of action to combat it, but I was hoping to kind of, I don't want to say enlist you, but become friends with you, and hopefully we can continue working together as a larger group and save Miami, as it were.
He looks at you, he looks past you at the motorcycle. Do you have a paper and pencil or pen?
Yeah, and just a second, and Anita will jump up, and she'll kind of jog over to her motorcycle. She's got like a writing pouch thing on it that's got a bunch of different various things in it. So she pulls out
the saddlebags.
Yeah, well, she pulls out like a pencil and a drawing tablet thing that she had. So actual paper tablet.
Yeah. I got it. Yeah, he takes it if you offer it, and he writes down two names: Bernard Laveau and Kathleen Rousier. He writes down an address, and then he writes what looks like a shopping list. He wants a live chicken, 2 avocados, and a bundle of oranges.
Okay. Do you want me to get those things and bring them to you? Do I need to take them to these people?
How much time do we have before the city is in danger?
Not 100% sure, but it's soon. I just know that I think we have like a week, maybe 2. I have to verify the information again, but I'm sorry for being so vague. I do apologize. It's some of these things kind of come and go, and yeah.
No, he's fine. Let's say that tomorrow you bring these to Bernard's, and the 3 of us together, we can. And he leans in close, almost like the same whisper that you did with vampires. He goes, and we will throw their bones, and we will see if it behooves us to help you.
Okay. I can do that.
Good. It was nice to meet you, Anita.
Nice to meet you too, Bashir.
And
Good luck
he-
with your teaching or your coaching. Volunteer work,
Volunteer.
right? Volunteer
He
work.
smiles. It's okay. I'm trying to set a good example for them.
So you got to start them young.
You know. And he gives you a smile and a wave, and you see him just kind of light jogging back towards the basketball court, and again yelling at the young black kid named Shion as he kind of points at a little girl, obviously, who must have been Maxine, who is crying in the corner.
Anita is going to, she'll get on her motorcycle and she's going to head off. She'll actually go back to Lydia's place, I think, so that way she can kind of say what she learned, and then she can figure out where she can go to buy some of this stuff. So
Okay, so you'll definitely be the first one to find Alistair sprawled out in the bathroom.
yeah, you just, if she finds him like that, she's literally just going to close the bathroom door and just.
Okay. From you, we're going to hop over, I think, to Arthur and the Church of the Sacred Family. This is a little outside your beat. It is still in downtown. You see that there's a bunch of people hanging out on the block where the church is. It is much different than any of the other churches that you're used to, especially given that this is a weekday.
I mean, I'm not in uniform or anything, so I don't need to act incredibly official. So I think I'll just walk up casually.
Okay. And as you're walking up, you hear a couple of the girls kind of giggling and pointing off, and one of them, for you, as Arthur, the phrase doesn't really do anything, but because you have some time, you do feel that the phrase has a deeper meaning further on than where it happens. And you can hear one of them just point at one of the other girls, and she just goes, "Oh my God, Becky, look at her ass." And there's this jolt that kind of shoots down your spine, and everything kind of resets, almost like in the Matrix when the cat glitches and comes back. And you hear, "Oh my God, Rebecca, you look so great."
My nose isn't bleeding, is it?
No. Your avatar hurts.
So the knight took a blow. Great. Without being like rude, I'll try to like give them a bit of a berth as I'm gonna try and go into the church
Yeah.
because I don't know who I'm looking for.
Yeah. And inside the church, you can see a couple of older patrons just kind of sitting in the pews. You have Entropy, Life, Prime, and Time. There is, as you cross the threshold into the church proper, you can feel that there is something pulsing with life. There is a spring of it somewhere here in the vicinity. And you see about a middle-aged woman kind of walk over. She has the nun's habit from the neck down, but she doesn't have the kind of helmet, the
headdress.
headdress. Thank you. And she comes over. She's like, "Are you lost, sir? Can I help you in some way, shape, or form?"
What a layered question. Lost, but I do have a direction, I suppose, is a good way to describe it.
A good start then.
I'm looking for, and he looks at her like not wanting to be obvious, but failing a bit.
Hmm.
They were referred to as the matron.
Oh, how fortunate for you. I'm her. My name is Evelyn de Lavigny.
Fantastic. Arthur Light. Good to
Nice
meet
to meet you, Mr. Light.
you. Is there somewhere we could speak privately for a moment?
Yes, of course. And she motions, and you see one of the other young ladies in the habit, in the full actual Catholic habit, kind of walk over. They exchange whispers, and she nods, and she goes over, and she takes her place at the front, where she was kind of like leading some kind of service or helping out some of the other parishioners. And she takes you back into what is a reliquary. There's a couch, couple of tables. You can see that large kind of goblet where the sacramental wine is poured and whatnot. A lot of accoutrement of the religion is strewn about, but everything has a little layer of dust on it, almost like it hasn't been used, like it's just there for decoration.
Wow, I am not sure how to start this conversation off.
I usually tell people to start at the beginning, and then we can work our way to the end.
Fair enough. Forgive me if this is blunt, but how familiar are you with time travel?
There's a smile that crosses her face, and then you feel a ripple kind of course through your body. It's very, very much reminiscent of how you were taught to kind of stretch out and feel if somebody is awakened, although you still don't have the spheres to do it yourself.
Mm-hmm.
You know what it feels like. And she smiles at you. She says, have you partaken in this time travel? Is this what you're asking?
Partaken, no, but I have some very recent acquaintances who very much have. And they bring some information from, I think they said, 1992.
10 years from now.
They said that there is a man who is going to cause Miami a lot of issues. And through discussion, they seem to think that the best tactic would be to get some people together, pool resources. In a way, it's sort of recruiting, but not exactly.
I wish I could be of service to you, but recently it has become an issue here at the church. She kind of goes over, she makes sure the door is closed, and very quietly she comes back and she says, the pocket dimension that I had established here has been leaking into the real world. So I've had to deal with it. There's not a lot of help from the closest cabal is in Broward in Fort Lauderdale, and they're very close-knit. The person that they would lend out just doesn't have the prerequisite information to deal with what I'm dealing with.
Do you know what's wrong, or is that a mystery as well?
She goes over to a closet. She opens it. Excuse me. What would be the most primal reaction of not Arthur, but definitely Maddox, if you were to see a closet, like a little boudoir, a wardrobe open up, and a red capped goblin was chewing on a shoe in front of you?
Just like wide-eyed staring, not quite believing what I'm seeing.
There's a little bit of that seeping into Arthur, I think, as you are looking at a red-skinned, dark-eyed, small, like about maybe 2.5, almost 3 foot tall goblin with these long pointed ears. One of them is broken and flopping over, and he's just chewing on a shoe, and he just looks up at you, eyes wide, and just kind of stops mid-chew. And she looks at you. This is my problem. The leak is shifting out and spilling fey creatures into the streets.
Huh.
They're small now, but having been across the hedge once or twice, I know that they can get bigger.
I will admit I have no familiarity with them. I'm fairly recently involved in this sort of stuff.
Oh, well, I apologize, and I welcome you to what colloquially has been called the shit show.
Not a bad term, all things considered.
Hmm.
Are we okay to talk in front of them?
Oh, yes, of course. And she closes the door on him.
If nothing else, I feel I should read you in on the situation as best I understand it.
Very well. And she motions to the couch.
He sits just sort of like close to an arm, but facing towards her.
Yeah. And she sits on a small chair.
Just as a quick side note, his last name is Thatcher, right?
Correct.
Do you know of the philanthropist Daniel Thatcher?
Philanthropist, no. I know of the Hermetic Daniel Thatcher up north.
I think that's the same one. Know a bit of what he's supposedly done here in Miami, but that's who the time travelers are here about.
Daniel.
Apparently he screws with a lot of things.
I don't think that we are discussing the same Daniel.
That's time travel.
The Daniel Thatcher that I've come to know from the Fort Lauderdale Cabal is meek, shy at best, but knowledgeable. He's a bookworm.
This bookworm apparently causes a lot of problems. Storyteller, can I do something while we're talking?
Yeah, what do you want to do?
Does Entropy have anything good or bad to say about this woman? Like at all? Just Entropy 1, just checking.
Ooh. Let's have you roll your arete. the church counts as a node, so there's
beautiful.
no paradox here. So it's going to be difficulty 4.
Fantastic. That's 3 successes.
Okay. The issue with her right now is that she sits at a crossroads, and she can either incredibly help the city or incredibly hinder the city's growth.
Okay. Of course, I got a fucking focal point. Okay.
It is tied to not just the goblin, but definitely the fae, because there's a thread that goes into the boudoir, the kind of what's it called, the wardrobe.
For my dear time travelers who are still here, you didn't at any point mention the doors for Horizon, did you? Okay. All right. As another part of this, the first incident that Mr. Thatcher is going to be a major influence on is werewolves and vampires in the city.
I was hoping that we could avoid the altercations as of late. Seems we won't be able to.
And from what I've been told and what the people who came here have been told, he's the one that brings the werewolves,
Daniel.
making several lesser nodes around the city in key locations.
I've never known him to be a student of the sphere of spirit.
It's just what was relayed to me.
If anything, I would have trusted Bashir with that task.
He's apparently another one this group is trying to recruit and get his assistance with.
Okay. So at least you have a list of the stronger awakened in the city. That's good.
If I don't fully know how these things work. I've met more awakened in the past day than I have most of the time I've been learning so far. If it's not too rude, may I ask which tradition you would belong to?
I am part of the Celestial Chorus, my son.
You Thanatos.
No. I feel like you could have done well for yourself in my old tradition.
I'm not especially religious, ma'am. I'm sorry.
Oh, I'm just by the outline of your avatar, it almost feels like you belong more in my setting than you do in yours.
It's just the shape that he took.
The shape that you willed.
And apparently all of this is going to happen on, if not very close to, St. Valentine's Day.
Of course. Well, I can make a call and see if I can reach Bashir.
I don't fully know if the intention is to form a cabal here, or if it's just to touch base and make sure everyone's aware of what's going on.
I can start putting out the word to those awakened that I know are living in the city. We lived by a very ragtag kind of agreement. I don't know who I would get to lead a cabal here in the city, however. There's no real node.
I think that is also potentially in the works to be set up. I'm not sure. But the first thing is to, I think they said, make sure that Mr. Thatcher is in Miami for that first step.
All right, I can make that happen. I haven't seen you leading me in any direction that's going to lead me to death or harm, so I have to assume that you're not joking with me.
I've been told I'm not very good with my timing.
And yet you are surrounded by time travelers, apparently.
I recognize the irony in that too.
Good. At least your perception is strong.
Could be stronger.
Well,
I don't suppose you would have met my late mentor?
perhaps I've met almost all of the awakened in the city.
She was a woman, dark black hair. I would guess around 40, and darker skin. I can't say one specific ethnicity or another. I never got her name. Blue eyes.
I think if you'd like, I can make a call to Mr. Calder. He is the other Euthanatos in the city currently. If anyone can know who she is, especially if she was your tradition, it would be him.
All right, I'd very much appreciate that.
Very well. I'll make sure that he is in attendance then.
And if the people from the future can help with the and his eyes will like glance over to the where the goblin thing was, they might be able to help.
I would be very appreciative.
I'll let them know.
I'm running out of donated things to feed it, and its appetite is voracious.
Does it eat anything?
Anything.
Arthur reaches in and takes out a $5 bill and just hands it to her.
She pockets it.
If it eats anything, little bits that I can help with.
No, yes, I'll use this to buy some trinket or some such.
Is it only donated things? Like it doesn't go for personal possessions?
I mean, I haven't tried to give it to anything that isn't from our donation box. Do you have something you want to part with? We could test the theory right now.
There is nothing that I think I could part with, at least at this point.
Very well.
I don't have a whole lot to my name at the moment. Just working,
I understand.
living in Miami.
Shall we say we shall meet up tomorrow or the night after? To give time for everyone to meet up? Or would you like to meet straight on St. Valentine's Day?
I think any advanced prep we can do would be better. So tomorrow at the earliest, and if barring that, the next day as soon as we could. But not immediately, because I feel we'll need time to gather everything.
Oh, of course. I have phone calls to make.
Well, do you know that there was a skip outside of your church?
Skip how?
I thought I heard a girl say something about another's behind, but then everything reset as if to correct what she said. And then she said something different.
I am not skilled in the sphere of time, so I might not be as attuned to it as you were.
Simply a warning. It was something I noticed coming up.
I mean, how much worse can it get? And she opens the wardrobe again, and you see the goblin just with like a shoelace coming down like a spaghetti, and it just burps.
Do you have to be here? I'm saying to the goblin.
He looks up at you. What do you mean?
Well, are you content to just sit in a wardrobe, or
Yeah,
you don't
the
want
lady's
to
giving
go
me
back?
food.
So you're
You want me to
just
give up free food?
well, no, but don't
All
you
right, then.
want to go home?
Kid, you don't know what home looks like to me.
That is very true. But it just seems like being in a church, not quite the greatest environment
I
for
mean, do
one like
you want to help me out? We could make a deal. And you see him step out and hold his hand out at you.
I very much cross my arms. No, thank you. That's fine. But I'm more just wondering what you get out of being here that you couldn't get from where you came from.
I mean, 3 hots and a cot, right? And you see him give you finger guns. Just like,
Sure. And I'll turn and look at her. I'll let them know, see if they can do something.
please, this is my life now.
I have a couple people who say that having a baby is similar, but I'm sure with less strings. Well, matron, you have a pleasant day, and hopefully we will be in contact again.
You as well, Mr. Light. I look forward to hearing from you.
I'll actually, do you have a pen, paper, anything like that?
Yeah, of course. And she shows you to the desk on her side.
And I'll just quickly scroll down my home phone for her. I can't promise I'll always answer, but when you call, I'll do my best to call back.
I can only assume that if you don't answer, you are on the job protecting the city.
Did you read my mind to get that information, or is there something obvious?
No, I used the spheres I have access to make sure that you aren't someone looking to cause trouble. You know, there is rumors of an offendus walking the streets. And she kind of looks at you. She sees the face and she leans in. A bad, demonic, influenced mage.
Arthur goes a little pale at the words demonic.
Mhm.
All right, I'll be careful.
Please do.
Have a good day, and then I'll just leave.
Yeah. The second you open the door, the sound of the outside comes rushing in, almost like you hadn't noticed when it went completely quiet on the two of you. And outside on the street, you can hear there's a car parked, there's talking going on, and you can hear what sounds like Olivia Newton-John's Hopelessly Devoted to You kind of softly playing in the background. And as that kind of starts to pull you back into the reality that you left, we shift over to the mutiny in Coconut Grove. The bar sits on a corner overlooking a street, and then there is just the bay across. The parking lot is full, but inside there's only maybe half a dozen people. There's 2 at the bar sitting and drinking, and there's a table of 4 that look like they're rowdily discussing something.
Is there seating outside as well here, since it's so close to the bay?
There is a stool that looks like it belongs to a bouncer, but
That's
there's
it.
no proper
Okay.
seating. Yeah.
Okay.
Inside behind the bar, you recognize the younger, kind of less weathered face of a younger Ricardo. And at the end of the bar, you can see a familial resemblance to a young lady who has the same kind of sharpened features, the same brown eyes, the same kind of curl to the fringe on the front of her hair, and then just the Debbie Gibson curls of black hair that shift down and kind of cascade over one shoulder. She's wearing this very simple white shirt that just has the Mutiny logo on the left breast. There's a apron that has the same logo kind of embossed in gold, embroidered. She's wearing leggings and a denim skirt just maybe like a fist size above her knees, definitely hiked up quite a bit. But you see that she's just kind of chewing gum, sipping on a glass of water. And as you enter, Ricardo immediately whistles and slides down the bar to meet you at the entrance. Bueno, look at this. Hello, pretty lady. How can I help you? Are you looking for something in particular? Lunchtime getaway?
Oh, I see. Where would we get away to?
Oh, there's plenty of places. There's a hotel down the street. My apartment is close to Brickell, but not on Brickell because, it takes money to get on Brickell. And you see the heaviest wedge of lime come flying from the end of the bar and just hit him on the temple. She goes, déjala, which is Spanish for leave her alone.
Mm-hmm.
And he
And she says in
kind of
Spanish, do you talk to
defers.
your mother like that?
And he gets beet red and retreats to clean a glass. And she comes over holding a tray, and she goes, I'm sorry about my brother. Can I show you to a seat? Are you sitting at the bar? Would you like to sit at the table?
I would love to sit at a table. Thank you.
Of course. And she leads you, Teresa, and she leaves a little folded menu of drinks.
And Lydia looks at the drink menu to see what specials they may have going on tonight.
There is a special today for the Dark and Stormy.
I will take a dark and stormy, Teresa.
Very well. I'll bring it right up.
Okay.
And you see that she goes back to the bar. She interacts with her brother for a little bit. He keeps looking at you, almost like he can't place where he knows you from. And every time that he gets a little too lost, there's that wedge of lemon that comes flying over. And every single
time the wedge of lemon hits him, Lydia just
right
throws a wink at him.
And he sits there. He just rubs his temple a little bit. But she comes over, puts the drink down. Again, sorry about him.
It's quite all right. I expected as much. I would like to speak with you and your brother when you have a break. And Lydia.
I can speak to you now.
I need both of you.
Oh, okay. You're aware that he is an idiot, yeah?
Oh, yes.
Okay.
More than aware.
Okay, just making sure.
Yeah.
Sometimes when there are siblings, one is the pretty one is the smart one. El pobre, he didn't get either.
By the way, Lydia Thompson. And she reaches out
Oh.
a hand to her.
She shakes your hand. Teresa Cardenal.
It's a
And
pleasure.
that's my twin, Ricardo.
Yes. Oh, goodness. How about I offer to buy both of you a drink while we talk?
He's into that. And she calls him over, and he brings what looks like a cosmopolitan, and he sits down, and you see that he sits very far back in the seat. He's very relaxed.
Mm-hmm.
But she sits very up front, almost on the edge of her seat, like she is anxious and she's ready for action.
Looking around, does anyone else in the bar seem to be paying us any attention?
Not at all.
Okay, good. Is there something I can do that would allow me to notice if they start paying attention?
Yes, if you're talking about mundanely, you could just keep making a perception and alertness check here and there. But if you want to make an ongoing effect,
Yeah, I think I want to make an ongoing effect to make sure that we are not eavesdropped on as we
Okay.
talk.
it is a simple life and prime effect to keep it going.
Okay.
And mind, you have all
I
three
have
that
all
you
three.
need.
Mm-hmm.
So
Okay.
you have a focus for all three of those.
Yes, I do.
So that'll reduce the difficulty. There are sleepers, so that's going to make it 7 to start off with. The focus brings it to 1, and it could be coincidental, so I'll bring it down to 5.
Okay.
So I just roll your arete.
I got it.
Okay, how many successes did you
I got
get?
3.
3. Okay, so 1 success will last you the whole scene. So the other 2 can be used for speed of reaction.
Okay, we will do that.
Okay.
Yep, basically the alert.
Yep.
Yep.
So
Okay, good. And they see Lydia rub her bracelet a little bit. And then she kind of looks down while she does it. And then she looks back up at them and puts her hand down and takes a sip of her drink. Teresa, Ricardo. As I told you, Teresa, I am Lydia Thompson. I am, well, of the same tradition as you both.
she nods, and you see that he has a reaction almost like he knew it instinctively.
Mm-hmm.
He's just kind of internally fist pumping. And she's more reserved.
And,
She's more like,
and Lydia just smiles at him. I am in a situation that I'm going to need some help with. The situation doesn't just affect me. It infects the entire city. Hell, it might affect the entire world. There's an individual that will be coming to this city soon that will mislead every one of us in this city in order to gain power, immortality, and he doesn't care who or what he destroys in the process.
he leans in and he's just like, that's a big situation. And she immediately just puts out her hand in front of his face. And she's like, please let her finish.
She looks down at herself I stepped back in time to come here to stop him. And she looks at Ricardo. I knew you before, but you were different. And she looks at Teresa, because what had happened to you? I would like to prevent your avatar from being taken from you and shattered. In doing so, it will save a multitude of lives. And it will prevent your brother from becoming the pawn of the one that will destroy everything.
He slowly turns to look at him. And he is now slid up to the edge of his seat. Is that even possible to shatter an avatar?
Oh, yes.
And she smacks him in the back of the head. Because she just told you she came back in time.
I am quite skilled in that sphere. Among others. While I look very young, let's just say I'm just using my younger self to get around. I come from 1988.
Oh. He leans in. Is the music better? And then she hits him again.
That could go either way. Some of it is, and some of it isn't.
She throws her napkin into his face. Now, if the smart ones could do the talking, please, Ricardo. How do we help? Who's this man that is supposed to shake up the city like that?
She leans in real close and whispers, Daniel Thatcher, a hermetic.
She looks at him. The Broward group has a Daniel Thatcher, yeah? He nods. Very careful. Like he opens his mouth to say something and then he immediately closes it and then he just nods. And she looks at him. She looks back at you. Okay, so do we have to keep him out of Miami? Because he's in Fort Lauderdale right now. That's very easy to stay up there.
Yeah, he actually
He's with the rest of
needs
these white people.
to be here.
Oh.
Yeah. You see...
He's kind of weird, Daniel.
Yes, he is. And I never trusted him, not from the first time I ever met him, which was in 1984.
Well, you know him a lot then.
Unfortunately, I didn't get to meet you because of your situation.
So my situation is bad then, is what I'm hearing.
You become a sleeper again.
And now she's the one that shifts all the way back in her seat and kind of just slumps. He looks at her before opening his mouth, and you see for the first time that there's someone that he's actually not afraid of, but definitely paying deference to. And when he sees that she doesn't stop him, he kind of leans in. How do we stop it then? How do we help you?
We make sure Daniel is in the right place at the right time every time he needs to be, and then something else is going to take care of him. The thing that sent me will take care of him.
Okay. So I dabble with time, but
Ever seen a funny dressed dude out the corner of your eye?
I mean, sometimes when I get really crazy with it.
Yeah, that's the one.
Okay, but how do we keep her safe without,
Well,
jodiendo time?
yes. I'm going to kill a vampire.
Oh, okay. Just simple like that.
Yeah, it is. I've done it once already.
Oh, and he turns to her. She's still out of it.
Because you see, there is another one in this city that is currently undead that wants to become alive again and take back his avatar. The problem is he lost his avatar when he was made what he is. So what he does is performs a ritual that shatters a bunch of people's avatars in the city, reforms them into one for himself.
Oh,
And he's going to murder a lot of people for this ritual because there's a high blood requirement, it seems.
okay. So we just gotta stop him then, right?
And get Daniel where he needs to be.
Okay. So who are we looking for? What's the name?
Refresh my memory, storyteller.
Malcolm Gaines
Malcolm
is the original
Gaines.
Tremere. Malcolm Gaines. I don't know Malcolm Gaines. Do you know Malcolm Gaines? And she kind of absentmindedly just shakes her head.
Anything going on with the Biltmore?
Biltmore. The old hospital? No, it's there. They use it for on Halloween for like a haunted house, but
Okay.
nobody's pay attention to the Biltmore.
That's coming. That way you can test me to see if what I'm saying is real or not.
There is a moment where he smiles at your comment, and then he kind of like shakes it out of his head as he looks back at his sister, almost like he knows that if this was a regular situation, like he would have gotten smacked already. And then he kind of turns back to you. I'm gonna put out the word and see if there anybody else that comes in and out kind of knows about these Malcolm Gaines. What do we do if and when we find out about him?
Lydia takes a bar napkin, takes a pen out of her bag, writes down her address and phone number, folds it in half, kisses it, and gives it to him.
No, still got it. And he looks at her, and at this one, she does kind of snap out of it and hit him.
It's nice to see you smile, Ricardo.
That makes me feel kind of like the future is bad for me.
It is.
Oh, that's not what I wanted to hear.
Well, the one I came from is. We're hoping to change that.
Okay. Well, I'm on board for changing that.
Teresa, I want to stop what happened to you from happening.
We need to make sure that no one's avatar is shattered,
Exactly.
even if it means shattering this Daniel's avatar.
I am willing to do whatever it takes to protect the people of this city.
Yep, that makes two of us. And she gets up. She hits him on the arm. Come on, go back to work. we'll call you or we'll come over when we have news. It's a lot
Excellent.
to take in.
Thank you. And she finishes her drink.
Yeah, she stops halfway back to the bar. She comes back. He made that bad on purpose, so it's on the house.
He
You know, we didn't know what you were about, so
Trust me, I've had worse. And she actually puts a 20 down on the table. Y'all have
she looks at you and she's just like, "That future is good to you."
No, it really
Leaving a
isn't.
tip like that.
That doesn't buy the things you need.
And there's an understanding as she nods at you and watches you walk out.
Mhm.
And as everybody kind of gathers up back at Lydia's place, I think this is a good spot to take our break so we can see that Max Shank room.
Oh.
Ooh, boy, welcome back, everybody. We got to see a couple of nice scenes. Anita with Bashir, Arthur with the matron, and then we got to see Lydia with the Cardinal twins at the Mutiny Bar in Coconut Grove. And we're going to pick up a couple hours later as everybody is back at Lydia's place outside as somebody's cleaning up the front porch to their bodega. You can hear the last little bit of Take a Chance on Me by ABBA playing on a radio. But everybody comes in and meets back up at Lydia's place. Alistair is crashed on a bed or in a corner, having crawled himself over in that direction. But all of you are gathered back up, so I open it up for all of you.
Is he all right?
Yes.
Doesn't look all right.
Well, as all right as he gets sometimes. Yeah. I hope one day he'll get himself cleaned up.
That sort of reaction usually just comes from pain, from what I've observed.
Yep. So, how did it go? Oh, what did you do?
Things got weird before I even entered the church.
Oh, you went to see the matron.
It's what you guys suggested.
Well, we needed to see the matron. I didn't say you should do it.
Oh, oops. Well,
Okay, well, how did that go?
she was very cordial, very polite, very understanding of my situation. Looking back, don't know if maybe I said a bit too much, but she took it well. But she's also dealing with her own problem, and it's a very odd one.
What is it?
Fairies
Okay.
spilling out into our world around her church and in her church.
Okay.
And the one that I spoke to said that he was there because 3 square meals a day and a place to sleep.
Oh my fucking
And apparently he eats anything. I saw him eating a shoe when she showed him
I
to me.
really don't know much about them, but I'm sure I will learn. Yeah. Okay, great.
Time was also a little bit off there when I got up. I heard some woman make another comment about her friend or some woman's rear, and then everything skipped backwards a few seconds and she said something different instead.
That is strange.
The matron also said she thinks I should have been in her tradition given my avatar, which I don't fully understand. I was told the avatar is a personal thing.
What's your avatar?
He appears as a knight.
Oh, okay. Yeah, she would think that.
I mean, that actually sounds very much like you. For what we know of you. Sorry. No offense. Mark.
None taken. Thank you.
But she would definitely think that with the knight because, the whole
He's
the
a
whole
he's an
connotation of knights with the church and everything like that.
oh, Knights Templar. Okay.
Mm-hmm. But it's good. You obviously have initiative. You will go out and seek to be proactive. This is good.
It's far better than waiting around for time to fall apart.
This is good.
She did seem concerned about the werewolf vampire stuff,
Hmm.
and she said she would make some calls. She said she could get Thatcher in the city
Good.
if we needed her to. And I gave her my number so that she can call. I'll check my answering machine at my place when I go back.
Okay.
And she said, meet up in the next day or so.
Okay. Anita, how did your talk go?
Well, Bashir was not cold. I mean, the last
Awesome.
time I interacted with him, he was kind of a jackass. But no, he's I told him that there was going to be this thing with the vampires.
Hmm.
And he said they don't feed on his kind and not our kind, but his kind. And he meant his, I guess, his like genetic heritage. So I said congrats, but okay. I asked him if he would be willing to help potentially because we needed to save the city. I wasn't really sure what to say to him.
I understand.
I didn't want to break time because if it happened, if it could be my luck, it would be me who does it. So I don't know. He told me to get him a live chicken, 2 avocados, and a bundle of oranges, and I was supposed to bring them tomorrow to 2 of his friends, and they were going to, I think he said, read the bones.
Yes,
So-
yes. Yes.
So I think he's feeling me out some, which is perfectly fine. Like I said, I was more hoping that we could all as a group come together at some point so that I don't have to be the one who fucks up and says the wrong thing.
That is
because I'm
preferred.
also confused because I wasn't in Miami for a couple of years while some of the other stuff that's gone on that you know of, Lydia. So
I understand. I appreciate you going to meet with him. Understand that while you were gone, before I called for your assistance, Bashir was under Daniel's sway. And unfortunately, I did not pick that up like I should have. And he used me. And being that is so relatively recent to me, I did not trust myself to go talk to him.
that's fair. That's fair.
Because I might have just, broke him in pieces seeing him. So, yeah.
It's
I appreciate you doing that.
it's important to remember different time,
I
different
know.
versions.
I know,
'Cause,
but I
'cause-
also know that it was so recent that I'm not sure I could have separated the two.
At least you
Fair
trust
enough.
yourself enough to delegate.
Exactly. I did go speak with the twins, Teresa and Ricardo Cardinal. I didn't so much tell them about the vampire and lupines yet. I kind of wanted them focused on other things. They are going to look into Malcolm Gaines. You remember him. Anita.
Sort of.
Yeah.
I was coming in. I think I joined in the fun at the tail end of some of his
Escapades. Yeah.
or was he being helped? Was he helping the lady in
Yes.
we should kill her then.
He's the one that does the ritual that makes him back to being a mage. That destroys avatars.
Yeah, I think that happened before I came to Miami.
It did. He was already converted into a mage, and he was doing it again for her.
Okay.
But I
think
have news
came in-
for you. It didn't work.
Oh, good. I was gonna say I'm pretty sure I was there, but there was also the paradox dude.
I know.
and shit
It was
got
crazy.
fucking weird.
It was.
So-
I heard stories. It was crazy, but oh gosh. But anyway, so I focused them more so on finding out information about Gaines. Also warned them about Daniel, and I should be hearing from them shortly. So once I hear from them, I'll invite them over and we can all just sit and have a talk about what's coming up first. Because I did explain to them we need to get Daniel in the city and in specific places at specific times to make sure he follows his timeline up to a certain point.
I should also say the matron does know about the time travel stuff because I didn't think about breaking time by telling her. But she took it in stride.
So did Teresa and Ricardo, but I figured as much considering that is a sphere that we have affinity with in my tradition.
All right.
I was erring on the side of caution because
No,
No,
your
you're
way
fine.
sounds better.
You're fine.
Honestly.
time and the verbena only get together so much in that things grow and they die. So
And if Alistair's bender lasts too much longer, I'm going to have to recruit help with the spirit sphere. So,
I could try cleansing him.
I mean, I'm pretty sure I could do that too. I don't think it's gonna help.
just let him
'Cause-
process his stuff.
Yeah.
All right.
Obviously, something happened with that phone call. So, let him process his stuff. He's here. He's safe.
The matron also talked about how she wasn't necessarily against the idea of a cabal, but more she doesn't know of any nodes around that could base around. that they
Yes, that's going to be created at some point this year in the Biltmore.
could- The hospital?
Yeah.
Okay. Stranger locations, I guess.
So, we have to wait for that to happen or create that ourselves.
I
Yeah,
think
for-
I'll leave that to you guys.
For Arthur, the mention of the Biltmore is the mentioning of a relic, really, because the Biltmore was used as a hospital during World War II. It hasn't become the hotel that it is today.
It's almost a historic site sort of thing.
Almost, people go there because it's haunted, and so there's tests of manhood. Every Halloween, they go in, they clean it up, and they use it as a haunted house. But otherwise, it's a site that just kind of sticks out in the middle of Coral Gables.
I'm not sure what they could do with that old building, but I'm sure it'll be what it is.
Arthur, we bend reality to our will. What can't we do to it?
Apparently, keep it in the right hands.
Well, forgive me, I got here 2 years too late. The first time.
That wasn't a shot at you, Lydia. It was just in general.
I know. Trust me, I know. Because Daniel had it, then it blows up. I don't know how that ties with the shit with Gaines, but I guess it does somehow.
Yeah.
And because they both happened, Gaines becoming a mage again after being a vampire happened like it coincided with it blowing up. And then Gaines ended up purchasing it and taking ownership of it after it was lost to the mages.
And when you say that that ritual destroyed the avatars, you don't mean sent it back into the cycle, do you?
No, it yanked them out and shattered them into I don't know how many pieces. And then he took pieces and reforged them together to make an avatar for himself because he lost his when he got embraced.
That doesn't sound remotely like it would be beneficial for him or any of the avatars.
Well, it's what he did.
Wow, I'm starting to see why my mentor always said those bastard hermetics.
Yes. Yes, because that is what Gaines was. He is now, I think they call them a Tremere in the
Sounds
vampire.
French.
And Daniel knew him.
I've also been told that Daniel isn't, at least behavior-wise, the same attitude or person.
Oh, yeah, let me guess. Reserved, meek, pleasant,
And bookish, apparently.
and bookish. Yes, that's his MO. To be
All right.
underestimated.
The matron also gave me some information. If it's literally what she meant, I'm already scared, but even metaphorically, I'm kind of worried. There's rumors of, what did she call it? Neph something in the city.
Nefandus.
That's the word.
Yes. We had that come up, didn't we, Anita?
I think so. I want to say that was involved at the topiary party that I was at. I don't know. There was so much janky
It was
stuff
also
going on
brought up
there.
in that fortune teller's place.
Oh, wait, isn't that the vampire lady?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I didn't really listen to anything she said. The whole time I was honestly thinking about how we could blow the place up. So
It was tempting. God, it was tempting.
One of the few lessons I took from my mentor before she left was that if I can take out every vampire I meet.
Yes.
Her advice, not mine.
I will tell you that ordnance works really well, especially grenades. Infuse them with some prime.
I'm not that great with that. I have the basics.
I am.
I'll lean on you for that then.
I've been working on something in the interim
Mhm.
over time. I just want to try this. I want to roll it to see if I can do it. Is it possible using forces to I don't want to make it, I'm gonna decollapse it again, but is it possible to make basically the equivalent of actual sunlight in a ball?
Yes. With Forces 3, you can mimic sunlight. It will be, unless you keep it up with Prime, it will be just instantaneous.
Mm-hmm.
And you will all get immediately tanned.
That is hilarious.
Okay, well, no, I wasn't planning on keeping it up. I just wanted to see if I could do it because she's been working on something like that just so she can just
A flash grenade that will fuck up a vampire.
Yes. So I just roll my Arete then.
Yeah, just go ahead and roll your Arete. There are no sleepers around.
And
Lydia,
it's in process of being a node.
Lydia has been working on making a node, so we'll say, what's your focus for forces?
She's added into her tattoo that she has that covers all of her various
Oh,
pieces.
that's
So
true,
there's, I think it has one of the rings, because it had a ring element to it, is now actually like it looks like it's fire part of it, and part of it's like kind of like electricity into fire kind of thing, like this, like it's not shifting, but if you look at it, it almost looks like it could start spinning. So
Okay. So you see Anita kind of hold her hands together, I guess, like in a cup. Like, are you?
yeah, she's kind of doing one of these kind of things, like she's trying to kind of like pull the light together to kind of.
Okay. And this is the first time that Arthur has ever seen falling leaves. But as Anita brings her hands together to show you whatever she's been working on, you see the face of this red panda kind of sidle out behind her thigh and look up at you.
Sorry, it's a red fox.
The red fox, sorry. Kind of sits up, looks out at you, and then slowly hides behind her leg again as she summons this mote of sunlight. What'd you get on your successes?
What am I looking for?
It's going to be forces 3. You have a focus. You're in a node, so it's going to be 6.
Okay, I got 1 success.
And just a brief flash, like you've looked right at the sun. And it's
Gosh, I
instantly
need
as
to
it's
warn a girl
summoned,
before
it's
you
gone.
do that.
Apologies. I've been working on it.
I see. Good job.
That was very impressive.
Yeah, so I'm.
Everyone except Anita just sees white.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're all
I'm
just
like,
blinking away the fucking sunspots.
Yeah.
But Anita can actually see that everyone now has a nice golden tan.
Don't look in the mirrors just yet, everybody.
And Lydia legit turns and looks in a mirror that's hanging on the wall. Fuck, I need to go buy new makeup.
It's Miami. It gets sunny enough. The season's a little early for it, but
I don't tan.
I kind of do.
It's okay. The other alternative is the side to this one is that I've also gotten really good at like changing my skin back, getting rid of the tan. So I might be able to help you with that.
All right.
I rolled Arete to do life to heal the sun damage from my skin.
Okay.
And
you have prime, so it's permanent.
Yeah. So
Oh.
I got 2 successes.
Okay. Yeah. Healing yourself for the sunburn, difficulty 4. So
Yeah, I got 2 successes.
as long as you have life 2, you can do it to yourself.
Mhm.
I think Arthur can heal himself from
He
the
doesn't. He doesn't.
suntan.
He's not thinking about doing that, but yeah.
Yeah. So that's an option for you.
And you actually see Lydia run her hands over her face and across any exposed skin, and the suntan fades. And she's back to her alabaster.
See,
Huh.
problem solved.
Yeah.
Problem solved. Apologies. It's after the shit show last time. I started dabbling because I thought I need something so that I can, even if it's just I throw it up and it just if it kills 1 or 2, perfect. If it wounds them, great. I don't care. I just needed something to kind of, yeah. So I do apologize.
Mythologically, what does actually make sense for the vampire stuff? Like, if I huck a clove of garlic
fire?
at him,
Fire.
Yeah, fire.
can't do that, but okay.
I can do that too.
If you can't do that, you get something that can do that, thus grenades.
Mm-hmm.
It's a shame I can't get them from my normal contact. Damn.
This feels like it will be an obvious question, but I do have my gun. Would that do anything?
I don't know.
Maybe. It's possible. It's possible if we
You got a shotgun?
tinker with it some.
At the PD armory, but
That
I'd
might
have
work
to
better.
I'd have to check it out and then give a
you
reason
shoot
for
it
checking
and punch
it
a
out.
hole in them like this freaking big. They're gonna feel it.
I'll see what I can do. I make no promises that I can acquire one.
Oh,
Usually
come
that's
on.
for
You can turn on that charm you've got.
no, usually it's for riot suppression. It's not something you just walk out of the police station with.
Yeah. Fighting a vampire is riot suppression.
It's 1982
but-
Miami.
And there's
we-
riots everywhere.
Yeah.
Also, we still live in America. We can just go down to the Walmart and buy a shotgun. Or is that changed in coming back?
Storyteller?
There might be a sporting goods store.
Yeah, Walmart has not reached the
Miami yet.
apex
It's
that
still
it-
in Texas.
Yeah.
Sorry.
No, it's fine. That just gives them an idea of where you're from.
Here, I say this lovingly as a player. Fucking time travel.
I know, right? There might be a sporting goods store where you can get one.
Yeah.
And being that you're a cop, you've got a clean record.
That is true enough.
Or just pay double. Sometimes that works.
Okay, let's not try to corrupt the poor, pure
I'm not.
baby mage.
I'm giving.
Okay.
I am giving Arthur life lessons. When you travel around, you have to learn these things because sometimes you need to buy a shotgun and you don't have time for a background check. So
Besides, if we're gonna corrupt you, my way doesn't require jail time.
I wasn't thinking about jail time.
Again, just remembering what Lydia said she's going to establish in this place. Red, once again.
I love doing that to him. It's so cute.
Yeah, no, definitely don't feel uncomfortable whenever you do it.
Okay, well, good. It's really, I mean, I don't have extensive experience hunting vampires. I literally was just trying to get the one here, and when that failed because he had become a mage, the other one ended up going back in time and fucking becoming a vampire. Daniel did. And I literally threw a prime infused grenade at him and he went kaboom.
Yeah, I think a fundamental energy of existence would probably make most things explode.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And that seemed to work really effectively. Of course, then time stopped and we got yanked out and sent back here.
Oh, so that was seconds before you guys traveled through time.
Yeah.
Or I guess it was no time before you traveled through.
I don't know.
Ugh.
I don't bother trying to nitpick all the details of it. It just, time is what it is, and it's fluid as fuck. And it's circular, but it's also zigzaggy, and it's all over the fucking place. So
Time is a shape. That's about as far as I got.
yeah.
Think of time like what's going to happen to you, Arthur, once Lydia gets her place here opened.
It'll blow your mind.
All kinds of movements and shapes. And...
No, thank you. I'm fine.
The phone rings and you see Alistair grab it in a haze and just ask for Sarah.
Oh my God.
And
Lydia
then-
grabs the fucking phone. Hello?
Lydia.
Yeah.
It's Ricardo.
Hey,
¿Cómo
Ricardo.
estás? And then you just hear the thap, the phone drop. And you
Tell
hear,
your sister hi for me.
You hear Teresa pick up. Lydia is the smart one.
God damn.
Excellent.
Can we swing by? We have some information that we can share, but I don't trust the phones.
Absolutely. Come on by. My associates are here.
Excellent. We'll be there in a few minutes.
Okay. Bye-bye.
You can hang up.
Arthur is still red-faced, just mutters, I need a donut.
That's okay. I need to get to work. And she actually heads down to the studio area and starts working, waiting on them to arrive. She's trying to, furbish the place, get it set up. So.
Yeah. All right. Do Anita and Arthur want a scene?
Actually, Anita has a question for Arthur.
Do shoot it.
Arthur,
Mm.
so I need a live chicken. Since you're local, where do I buy one?
Storyteller? Would Arthur know where to get a live chicken? Because he can go down to the supermarket and get something just from there, but she specifically
Yeah.
said live.
Winn-Dixie's and Publix's will not have a live chicken,
Didn't figure.
but a bodega might definitely have some live chickens. And if not, the butcher in question will definitely know where to point you in the right direction.
Would I know of one around here? This isn't on my beat, is it? Like this area?
No. But there was one down the street when you were walking away towards your car. So
we could ask at a bodega. I think there's one just down the road if you want to go over there and check real quick.
Sure. I mean, not right this second. I need it for tomorrow. So.
And you said avocados and oranges were the other ones, right?
Yeah, I figured those are a little bit easier to find.
Yeah, oranges we actually can find very easily. The avocados I think also fairly easily.
Well, I'll probably source them the same place to get the chicken from.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
Unless their avocados and oranges are irreparable.
I'm not a health inspector. I wouldn't know.
Yeah, I don't think it matters. Oh well. Hopefully Lydia's friends. Yeah. Sorry. Also, last time I met Ricardo, he was a dick. But then again, I gotta be honest with you. Miami was nothing but dicks, and not in a good way.
Oh, so as much as things change, as much as they stay the same.
I guess it's kind of a shame for the city, I suppose. But yeah, it was just dicks as far as the eye could see, and like I said, not in the good way. It's a real shame. It's an absolute shame.
The blush is still there, but it's just sort of petered out into a consistent color by this point.
You need to get used to this, Arthur, because in our line of living, it's nothing but dicks and vaginas and shit you didn't even think was fucking imaginable.
It's been a lot so far.
Yeah.
I imagine what it's going to be like in an hour.
We should go help Lydia and we can find out what happens in an hour.
Sure. Sounds good. She can have me set something up.
Yeah. As you guys are helping Lydia clean up and set up, you hear the last little bit of Santa Esmeralda's Don't Let Me Be Misunderstood. As the car pulls up, top is down. It is not new, but it is kind of well taken care of. You notice that Teresa is the one driving, but Ricardo quickly kind of hops out and holds the door open for her into the establishment. They walk in, and to Anita, there's the same thing as Lydia. The weathered appearance that Ricardo had when you met him is gone. There is this fresh, energetic youth to him, and it's very much tied to her, to Teresa more than anything. And the two of them together do kind of have this glow about them. Not sexual, just very joyful. And it is very clear that they are definitely ecstatics.
They're very vivacious.
Yeah. And she quickly kind of walks in.
Lydia wipes sweat from her brow after she's been, constructing things and putting shit in places. And, oh, good. Here you are.
And you see that she hits him in the arm, ayuda. And he quickly kind of hops to helping.
Oh, thank you.
You gotta put them in their place sometimes.
Well, this is Teresa, Ricardo. This is Anita Maple. Arthur Light. Upstairs is our friend Alistair. He's currently in recovery from a bender.
First time in Miami?
No, that's the problem.
No, Younger internal organs.
Yeah, younger internal organs. Yeah.
And he kind of looks at her and shrugs, and she kind of nods at him. Okay, so we asked around, we looked around for this Malcolm Gaines.
Yes.
Nada. Don't know. Nobody who knows. Everyone doesn't know him.
Interesting.
You sure that was the right name?
Yes. At least that's the name I know of him. He may go by a different name, or he may not be known because he doesn't want to be known. I mean, he is a vampire. There's no telling what they can do.
Yeah. No, we asked one of the people that we know is connected to one of the vampires in the city. They have like some kind of council or something. Some like not the mayoral council or anything like that, but just like, there's a group and they decide what happens. He never heard of Malcolm Gaines either. So none of the vampires, at least the ones that this person knows, has ever heard of Malcolm Gaines.
Oh, well.
Do we have an idea of how many are in the city?
Last time we asked, we got two numbers between 15 and 35.
You think you can make your sunball a little bigger, Anita?
Yeah. Oh yeah.
I mean,
yeah, no. I'll put everything I've got into it if I need to. So
Okay.
Paradox might beat the crap out of you for it, but
Worth
I'm
it.
swearing. Sorry.
Oh, you're such an
No.
innocent child.
If see, the trick is you do it when you're inside. There's less whatever.
Yeah.
I was more just
Hopefully.
saying, ideally, if you could get one as big as the sun, you could probably get all of them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But that might
be a
little
bit much for
tricky.
for gravity, okay?
Yeah.
But okay. Well, I appreciate you all looking into that. Hopefully you all will get word when that one does make his presence known. I'm not surprised he would be secretive. Coming up, though, vampires are going to be fighting each other very soon. Like Valentine's Day, or night, I should say.
That's like in 2 or 3 days.
I know. So that's why we need Daniel in the city. Because according to his timeline, he created small nodes in specific places around the city that attracted werewolves to handle the vampires.
That's smart.
Yeah, it is. And I know how to do it.
Oh, okay. So we don't need Daniel.
We still need him here.
Oh,
He doesn't have to do the nodes. I could do them. I just need someone to help with spirit.
I mean, the only one that we know in the city that has spirit that high is probably Bashir.
Good. Anita's going to be getting in touch with him and his people tomorrow.
Oh. You got him to pull out the Santeros? They scare me.
The Centauros, they read the bones. It's Caribbean magic.
Oh.
Voodoo.
No familiarity, but magic seems like magic at this point. Everyone just uses it differently.
There's magic and then there's voodoo. Me and Ricardo, we don't mess with the voodoo.
Yes, well,
No offense to either of you, but there's a lot of things out there that are interesting and different, and yet they are also still all the same. So disparaging it just because it's different from what you do it or how you do it is kind of dumb.
You see Ricardo take a step away. And she just kind of nods. Yeah, I guess you want to look at it that way, but me and him, we've seen what they do. It's not right.
Anita, Lydia, should I mention the other potential ally?
Yeah.
I, just more by process of elimination, went to speak with the matron over. I can't exactly remember the name of the church, but she seemed intent on helping, barring a certain issue she's dealing with on her own right now. But she could also be helpful.
I wouldn't count on her. Esa vieja, that old lady, only cares about herself and her church.
She seemed receptive. That's all I know.
That's how they get you, man. And then you're sitting there for 5 hours listening to about how God was a good guy and how, the Romans were terrible, and it's difficult.
Going to church takes up too much time, so I just don't.
Telling me.
So that's our first step, is to make sure Daniel's here on Valentine's so that he's inclined to try to form a cabal in this city.
Oh, that's easier said than done.
Yeah.
There's no node. Where are we gonna congregate? At the church?
No.
No. It's not for me.
Think about it. If he went around and made small nodes all around the city in a matter of, he isn't even in the city that we know of now, so what, a day or two? Think of what he could create with some time. The Biltmore. That is where he will base the cabal out of. He will turn it into a node, a significant node.
That place is creepy.
Yeah, it's haunted.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So that's not just stories then. It's actually ghosts, isn't it?
And Ricardo slaps your arm. I told you it's ghosts, man. Ghosts.
Uh-huh.
So, yeah. But I appreciate it, truly.
And we can't let Bashir do it because Bashir is not creepy like Daniel is.
We'll see. I'll probably, because our friend, no telling when he's going to rouse out of that bender. I'll probably have to have Bashir help me. Just word of advice. Don't believe a damn word Daniel tells you when he gets here. Not a goddamn word.
That's easy.
She looks over at Ricardo. Still want to take me on a lunch date?
How did you know? And you see him just kind of standing there holding a box.
We can do it tomorrow.
Okay. And he looks at his sister. I like this one. She's assertive. And she just shakes her head. You don't know what assertive means.
Oh, he'll learn.
Red, once again. Excuse me, and I'm actually gonna leave and go back up to where Alistair is currently fading in and out of consciousness.
Okay.
Does he look bad? Like
No,
really
no.
out of it, or
He looks peaceful more than anything. He looks like whatever he did to himself, this is the end of it. This is the tail end, the pun intended for his avatar. And it looks like whatever is haunting him, it has to do with that name he cried out into the phone.
I'm going to run my thumb over my forehead so that I get a small buildup of sweat on my hand. And I'm just going to walk forward and press it against his forehead. And with the life 3 that I got, I would like to start a detox if at all possible.
Sure. Let's have you, roll your arete.
And I also have a bit of medicine if that's going to help with anything.
Okay. What are you using as a focus? Your sweat?
Yep. Blood, fluids, that sort of thing. So
Yeah.
the sweat in this case. It's a
Okay.
direct connection between him and me.
Yeah. So you mingle your sweat with his. You kind of mirror the same kind of smudge on his forehead. It's going to be a difficulty 6 for you.
Okay. 3 successes. The lowest I got was a 6.
Nice. You see that the shivering that you saw when you first came in is non-existent at this point. The warmth, the kind of pinkish glow of his body starts to return to his pale, kind of pallor appearance again. And the trembling of his lips ceases. And there's this exhalation. And it almost looks like all of the bile, the wrongness that he's ingested into himself has been puffed out into this black miasma of a smoke cloud, and it just starts to dissipate out into the air. And you see him starts breathing regularly, almost like he is in a comfortable, relaxed sleep.
All right. And then, to a lesser extent, I'd like to do one more effect if I can.
Okay, what do you want to do?
Unlike with the detox where I'm trying to clear him out, this one's more just like a quick nudge. I'm not trying to flood his brain with it or anything, but I'd like to get some dopamine going so that he's truly in a decent mental place when he wakes up.
Sure. Roll your arete again. Same difficulty 6.
All right. 2 successes, but one of them is a 10.
Okay. So with the cleanse, I figured you would want to use all 3 of them for getting everything out.
Yep.
You don't have any prime to make it permanent, so it will, within the next 24 hours, he will start to feel the urge to kind of kick back in. But for the next 24 hours, he will not feel the need to kick it up again.
Yeah, the addiction won't be
It's
pushy.
been staved off.
Okay.
With these 2 successes, because you can't control how long it goes, for the next 24 hours, he is going to be incredibly happy.
Oops. All right. A little more than I meant, but whatever. It'll be good.
Yeah. So he is going to wake up like he has always been a morning person. Just go-getter, and he's probably going to crash hard. So,
Oh, damn. I didn't think about that. Fuck. All right.
so I hope that he enjoys the sugar high that you've given him. And I can't wait to see how he role plays this next session.
Was just trying to help Brad. I'm sorry.
I'm not.
No, of course not. You don't have to be. You're the storyteller.
No.
Your actions don't have consequences. Your
you
actions have
did
story
this.
beats.
You did this.
I know. I'd also like to make sure the window is open, so if any of that miasma is there, it's out.
Yeah. Downstairs, while this is going on, Ricardo and Teresa just kind of help out with whatever you need. And Teresa does let you know. So we were looking, asking about any vampires that fit the description of Malcolm Gaines. Nothing came up.
Yeah.
But somebody did say that one of the new, what they call him, and she kind of looks over at her brother, and he looks over at her, primos, and she goes, yeah, something like that, like cousins. One of the new cousins apparently has bought ABC Construction, just flat out. Came in, dropped some money, and picked it up. So,
Really?
I don't know if that was something that Malcolm did in your history, but I figured that would be.
Is that
worth
the same
mentioning.
construction company that was trying to buy up nodes and just around the city?
It
Storyteller?
is not.
It is not.
It is not.
Okay.
It is the competitor.
Interesting. Okay. Yeah, that isn't the one that was tied to him that I'm aware of, but it seems like that was his competitor's interest.
Yep. Because you did mention the Biltmore, and the guy that bought the construction company is setting his eyes on the Biltmore. So,
Oh,
they wanna tear it down.
that's probably Daniel Thatcher then.
like the Daniel in Fort Lauderdale,
Yeah, the Daniel in Fort Lauderdale.
he doesn't have that kind of cash. Like, he lives with his mother.
He has
This is a vampire that did this.
Well, shit. That opens up new fucking shit with me. A vampire did that. That's the one that sets its sight on the Biltmore. Daniel comes in, takes the Biltmore, turns it into a node. Then this ritual happens, the Biltmore explodes, and she's just like running through the details of the history.
Yep.
Fuck, is he tied to a goddamn vampire? And she just says that out loud, thinking out loud. Literally, Teresa's seeing her thought process, hearing it as she's talking through it.
Yeah.
And that fucking bastard. Okay.
And she looks at Anita and she's like, "Are we supposed to answer her questions, or is this like rhetorical?"
Just let her do her thing.
Okay.
Okay, guess I will go, Hey, Ricardo, on our lunch date, you want to go see the construction company?
Hey, I mean, do we have to? Because it's out in the middle of nowhere. by the
We can
airport.
have our fun first, and then we'll go.
Okay, because there's nothing out there yet. You know, they're looking at building that way.
Now, if you don't want to go, I'll go by myself.
Oh, I mean, I'm not gonna send the lady out by herself.
I so like this version of you.
I don't know any other version of me.
Yeah. Okay. I'll look into that. I swear, though, if they've got their sights set on the Biltmore, it's got to be tied to Daniel. Because I know when I came here in 84, the Biltmore had exploded this year around Halloween.
I mean, that makes sense because the construction company, apparently they want to tear down the Biltmore. So maybe that's part of the explosion?
I don't know. I don't know. Gotta look into it. But thanks for that.
Yeah. Figured, that's important.
Yeah. And if I don't get to it tomorrow because things are hopping, I'll get to it soon.
Yeah. And the night progresses with no incidents. And the next morning, I think it'll be a good spot to pick back up with episode 3. So thank you guys for episode 2. I hope the time travel hasn't broken any minds yet, because there's still more to come.
Can't break what's already broken.
Oh, thank you everyone for joining us tonight for the second episode of the final season of Mage the Ascension, Neon Hurricane. Y'all, seriously, come chat with us about this in Discord. The link right now is in chat. We also cast our games from our Discord community. We post casting calls up for folks to apply to sit at our virtual tables. You seriously need to hang out with us there. It's an amazing community. If you want to catch up on the prior seasons of this chronicle, there are 3 others, and they are all short seasons, so they're pretty easily bingeable. Check them out on YouTube right now at the McStabber Studios YouTube. And if you like Call of Cthulhu or Dungeons and Dragons, you'll want to check out the Ishbel YouTube link that's in chat right now. Go click them, give them a free subscribe each. Support. And don't forget to check out our friends who also stream amazing content. Tell them that the McStabbers sent you and give them our love. We have at this table 2 people here, our friends who stream. Ravnos Archon, tell us what you do on your channel.
I have a Vampire 5th edition game that is a dual storyline, asking what would have happened if the Beckoning happened in 1980 instead of in the modern day. And so it centers around 1984 Salem, Oregon. Normally I do Legend of the Five Rings or A Werewolf of the Wild West on Tuesdays, but I have to wrap up this story. And I just ended Star Wars on Fridays, and I'm only currently running Dungeons and Dragons every other Friday. So
excellent.
a lot.
And Ivy Raven, what are you doing on your channel?
I stream video games. I am a Destiny 2 VTuber. So yeah, I don't know. I'm trying to find some other stuff to play, but it's been kind of slow. So
Yeah. Awesome. So go check them out. And also we have Juni Von Esch at the RPG table. She runs a Vampire V5 game on Saturday evenings. You can join them there. And Mischievous Red sometimes does video game streaming on there. So check them out. Give them a follow and tell them that the McStabber sent you. If you would be interested in getting any McStabber Studio merch, you can check out our Zazzle store. I think I really do need a t-shirt that has hashtag cult quotes. I really do think I need that. I think Ravnos Archon needs that too.
Oh yeah, in the gaudiest Lisa Frank colors we can find.
Oh yes. But check out our Zazzle store. We have regular studio merch. We have merch for various shows that we run, including London Esoteric Society, Werewolf, Vampire for the Chicago Chronicle we're running on Sundays. Check it out. We've got some amazing merch there. And if you like the game that we played tonight and want to support the players at this table, consider donating bits or giving a donation. And if you would like to support myself and the studio, check out, either give us a subscribe here. If you've got Prime, you get a free one every month. You might consider giving it to us. And otherwise, you can go to our KoFi link that is in chat to give us a direct donation that will not have half taken away like Twitch does. So we appreciate your support. And coming up over the next week, we have on Saturday, London Esoteric Society at 3 p.m. Eastern. That is Call of Cthulhu 7E, set in Victorian London. Those investigators are getting into some sus cult stuff, and they are losing their sanity and luck and doing all the things they should not be doing if they want to survive intact a Call of Cthulhu game. But that's the fun of it. So join them Saturday. On Sunday, we have Windy City After Dark, Season 8, Episode 5. We are at the mid-season, y'all. Is it 5 or 6?
6.
6. Oh, shit, we're at 6. I'm like behind. Forgive me. Brain is mush today. We're actually at 6. Season 8, Episode 6 this coming Sunday at 5 p.m. Eastern. We are past the mid-season. Now we're steamrolling towards the end already. It's been too quick. It's been too quick, y'all. Just too quick. But join us 5 p.m. for some great vampire content set in Chicago. You're going to love it. And then we will be back here on Tuesday with Mage at 8 p.m. Eastern to see where we go from here. All these damn sus-ass hermetics. I swear to God.
Yeah, no. Every time someone says, and this mage did this thing. Wait. Tradition? Hermetic? Of course.
I can tell the storyteller does not like hermetics.
I love the Order of Hermes. Franklin is Order of Hermes.
I know. He just likes to stir shit with them.
Look, low-hanging fruit is the easiest to pluck.
Yes,
Let's be real.
Yes, it is. But really, something that we have to be serious about here at McStabber Studios is mental health. We do consent forms for all our games to make sure that boundaries are respected, that we do not traumatize our players. As much as we play dark games that may sometimes traumatize our characters, we do not want to traumatize our players. And we want you as viewers to also treat your own mental health with respect. Make sure that you are not ignoring it if you are struggling, that you get the help you need. And if you are in crisis right now, there are currently our numbers and links in our, or basically numbers in our chat that you can either call or text to get support for a variety of crisis issues. And there's also a link for Find a Helpline where you can access resources for crisis lines in over 140 countries around the world, so that if you are not an American, you can get help in other countries. And truly, I'm Mama McStabber, am a registered nurse. It is flu season, y'all. Get your flu shots. COVID's still around. Get the bivalent vaccine, because that's pretty much the one that's going to really help push COVID down to where it's barely a nuisance. Okay? So get the bivalent vaccine that's available either as a booster or as your vaccine. Make sure your polio vaccine is up to date, because polio has made a comeback, y'all. And that's debilitating. And we are getting closer to midterms. Of course, research your candidates. Make sure that they are in line with what you want your government to represent. But at the same time, please vote blue if you at all possibly can, because we have got to get true control of the Senate and maintain control of the House to get progressive humanitarian bills passed. Please. Please. Fuck Putin. Fuck the government in Iran. Both countries are murdering innocent people. Just outright murdering them. Fuck the GOP. Fuck Marjorie Taylor Greene for her saying that the illegal aliens are here to replace you and your jobs. Yeah, she said that out loud with her whole chest. She's a racist cunt. And don't be a Satine Phoenix or Jameson Stone in the TTRPG scene. Those are narcissists. They use and abuse people to get their own fame. Be kind to one another, y'all. Care about each other. Because we don't get through this life alone. Said with love. Y'all have a good evening.